Hi, welcome to Books and Cooks, Book Talks and Tastings. I'm so excited today because I have my friends and guests Tracy Herold and Michael Herold with me. Tracy is the director of the Dane County Library Service, and she lives in Sun Prairie with her husband Michael, and Michael is an actor. He's with the Forward Theater, and they're getting ready for their opening show this weekend, so I'm so glad they carved out some time in their busy schedules to be with me. And today's book is Spiced by America's Test Kitchen. Their entire mission is to test, and retest recipes. So what they do is they bring us the best version of what will work in a recipe. So Spiced specifically contains over 139 globally inspired recipes. They also include 47, I believe, different spice rubs and blends. So like America's Test Kitchen's other books, this book can really be used as a reference tool. I made a couple of things for you guys to try today. So I decided to focus on holidays, since I made some molasses spice cookies. So feel free to taste.
Do you want to? Should I split one for us to try for now?
Oh, I'm going to take my own.
Oh, you want to take your own? Oh, well, excuse me.
Now, what makes those so spicy?
Yeah, well, the spices are your typical warm fall spices, like allspice, cloves, cinnamon, ginger. There's salt and pepper in there as well.
What is on top though? That's
So yes, what's on top is kind of the special thing, which I was so excited to make. It's a super fine sugar, so very, very fine sugar, and vanilla pod. The cookie is rolled in this sugar.
Oh,
So I brought the leftover because I wanted you guys to smell it for some smell-o-vision.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
even from here, I
Yeah.
could smell the vanilla.
Wow. That's like
That is
So-
excellent.
And the next thing that I made are cinnamon, ginger, spice nuts. There's actually some coriander in there, so it's funny you said coriander. And I made those. And actually, the nuts are the whole reason that I have you guys here, because as you know, Michael is an actor, and I heard him a few years ago perform soul food monologues. And one of his monologues was one called Hot Nuts.
So what kinds of nuts can you use with this
Yeah,
recipe?
well, you could really experiment with the types of nuts. I used walnuts here, but you could use almonds, pistachios. But the key is you want to use raw nuts, so you have that blank canvas.
And how do you get the spice to stick to these?
It's an egg white, one egg white, a tablespoon of water, and a little salt. You toss the nuts in that, and then you add the spices, and you toss the spices in with that, and then you bake it in an oven, 275 degrees for 50 minutes. Take it out, let them cool for 30 minutes, and they really break apart really easily.
It's really funny you talked about the raw egg, because in my monologue, there's a completely different kind of combination that happens. I love nuts, hot nuts, salted nuts, mixed, raw, plain, and smothered in chocolate, since I was 7 years old and fell in love with peanuts. It was a tough year for the Delabovi clan, and that summer my Uncle Bob started taking me to a baseball game every Friday night. It'd get me out of the house, he'd say, and into the fresh air of Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. He'd buy me this huge bag of mixed raw nuts. I'd crack them open and he'd eat them. But I'd smash the shells with my feet, and I always saved a few extra for the seventh inning stretch, so that when we sang, "Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks," I'd say, "Peanuts!" really loud and pretend I got really excited and just happened to throw the bag in the air. And the nuts would rain down on everybody. And the people loved it because it was 80 degrees and the air smelled like grass and beer, and you could hear the crack of the bat on the ball. And it was a Friday night in August. And who doesn't love a Friday night in August? But the other part of this that I loved as well is talking about my wife Tracy, and again how you get things, the different spices to stick to nuts. He talks about how he says, guys love nuts, but what's difficult is to find a woman who loves nuts as much as a guy, which is why I thought it was so extraordinary when I met Tracy. We were at this cocktail party which had too much alcohol and not enough snacks. We were in the kitchen talking about this fact when she says, "Do you love nuts?" I almost proposed on the spot. I should have. So she says, "Hey, why don't we go back to my place? I'll mix up some nuts and we can watch a movie." I said, "Let me get your coat. Let's get out of here." So we went back. Now, I'll tell you how she made her nuts. You might want to write this down. She mixed a huge, she roasted a huge bag of mixed raw nuts from Trader Joe's in the oven for like 20 minutes. Then she melted butter. I know, you think butter on nuts. Are you crazy? That sounds too good to be true. In the butter, she mixed chopped rosemary, cayenne pepper, and brown sugar, which she poured all over the warm nuts. We ate like the gods of Olympus. I found a woman who loved nuts as much as a guy.